You wake up at 4:30 a.m. The air smells like damp cedar and charcoal smoke. You do not get a blanket. You sleep on a thin straw mat. Softness is a sin. Softness gets you killed. Your morning starts with ice water. You dump a wooden bucket over your head in the middle of winter. Your skin turns blue. Your breath comes in ragged gasps. You do not shiver. Shivering is for peasants. You spend 4 hours practicing the same vertical strike with a wooden sword. It weighs 6 pounds. Your shoulders burn. Your palms bleed. The blood dries and turns into thick, yellow calluses. You hit a post until the wood splinters. You hit it until your vision goes white. You eat brown rice and pickled radishes. No meat. Meat makes the blood sluggish. You learn to read Chinese classics. You memorize the Analects. You learn that your primary duty is to die, not to win, not to conquer, to die at the right moment. You watch a criminal get executed in the courtyard. Your father tells you to watch the neck. Watch how the skin part. Watch how the spine snaps. He tells you to step forward. You handle the severed head. You wash the blood off. You learn that a body is just meat and bone. You lose your disgust. You replace it with a cold, mechanical observation. You are 20. You receive your two swords, the katana and the wakizashi. They feel heavy on your hip. They change the way you walk. You tilt your body so the scabbards don't clatter against doors. You are now a cog in the clan machine. You receive a stipend of 30 koku of rice. It is enough to feed a small family, but you have no family. You have a horse. The horse costs 15 koku to maintain. Your armor costs 10. Your swords cost 5. You are technically a nobleman. You are functionally a beggar in silk. You spend your days sitting. You sit in long hallways. You sit in audience chambers. You sit until your knees ache and your calves go numb. This is part of the discipline. You must be able to sit perfectly still for 6 hours while your lord discusses irrigation. If you fidget, you are a disgrace. You learn the hierarchy of the room. You know exactly where to sit based on your rank. You know exactly how many inches to bow. If you bow too low, you are a sycophant. If you do not bow low enough, you are an insurgent. Both are dangerous. You carry the weight of 1,000 rules. You cannot talk to a woman of higher rank. You cannot eat in public. You cannot show emotion when your brother dies of smallpox. You are a mask. The mask is the only thing the world sees. The drums beat at midnight. The Lord is at war. You don't march in a glorious formation. You march through knee-deep mud in the mountains of Shinano. Your armor weighs 60 pounds. It is made of iron scales laced with silk cord. When it gets wet, it doubles in weight. The silk rots. It smells like dead dogs and sweat. Lice live in the cordage. They bite your chest and back. You cannot scratch them. You haven't slept in 48 hours. You eat parched rice mixed with cold water. It tastes like dust. Your feet are a mass of blisters and infection. You wrap them in fresh straw sandals every 6 hours. The old ones are left on the trail like shed skin. The battle starts with a scream. It is not like the stories. It is chaotic. It is loud. You can't see through the smoke of the primitive muskets. You hear the whistling of arrows. A man next to you takes an arrow through the throat. He makes a gargling sound. He falls under the hooves of a horse. You meet an enemy warrior in the tall grass. He is just like you. He is tired. He is hungry. He wants to go home. You don't see a human. You see a resume. You see the head that will get you a promotion. You grapple in the mud. He tries to get a dagger under your helmet. You jam your thumb into his eye socket. You feel the jelly pop. You draw your short sword and saw at his neck. The skin is leather tough. The blood is hot and sticky. It gets under your fingernails. You carry his head by the hair. It drips on your thigh. You will present this to your commander. To get paid, you need proof of work. The head is your invoice. The war ends. The peace is worse. It is the era of the shogunate. There are no more battles. There are only rules. You are a bureaucrat with a killing license. You walk down a crowded street in Edo. A peasant doesn't bow fast enough. He doesn't move out of your way. This is Kirisute Gomen, the right to strike. The law says you must kill him. If you ignore the insult, you lose your honor. If you lose your honor, you lose your stipend. If you lose your stipend, your children starve. You draw your blade. It's over in 1 second. The peasant's torso slides off his hips. The street goes silent. You feel nothing. You feel a slight annoyance that you have to file a report with the magistrate. You have to prove the insult was real. You have to find witnesses who saw the peasant be rude. You go home. Your wife looks at the blood on your sleeve. She doesn't ask. She brings you tea. You sit in the dark. You realize you have spent 20 years learning how to disembowel men, and now you spend your days counting bags of tax rice. You are an evolutionary dead end. You are a predator in a world of farmers. Some of your friends sell their sword guards to pay for sack. Some of them marry the daughters of merchants they despise just to pay off their debts. You see your son practicing in the courtyard. He is hitting the post. You want to tell him to stop. You want to tell him to learn how to count money. You want to tell him the sword is a lie. You say nothing. You tell him to keep his elbow tucked. Your lord is dead. He died of a stroke. Or he was accused of a crime by the shogun. The clan is dissolved. The estate is confiscated. In one day, you go from a nobleman to a ghost. You are a ronin, a wave man. You have no anchor. You walk the roads. You wear a tattered kimono. You keep your swords, but the silk on the handles is fraying. You can't work a farm. You don't know how. You can't be a merchant. It is beneath your caste. You only know how to hurt people. You find work as a bodyguard for a sake brewer. You stand in the sun for 10 hours a day. You guard a pile of barrels. You are a guard dog in silk. You eat once a day, usually millet, occasionally a fish head. Your ribs start to show. You develop a cough that tastes like copper. You see other ronin on the road. Some of them have turned into bandits. They prey on travelers. They are the men you used to hunt. You look at them and you see your future. You see the desperation in their eyes. You see the way they hold their swords, not with pride, but with a twitchy, nervous hunger. The summons arrives. You have been called to answer for something. Maybe you failed a task. Maybe you were accused of a plot. Or maybe your lord has died and now you are expected to follow. The room is white. The mats are covered in white silk. White is the color of endings. You have bathed. You have written your final poem. You wrote about cherry blossoms falling. It is simple, but your mind is empty. It is hard to be original when you know what is coming in minutes. You wear your formal kamishimo. You sit in the seiza position. You are surrounded by officials. They watch closely for any sign of weakness. If you cry, your family is shamed. If you hesitate, you are judged. The dagger is wrapped in paper so you can hold it firmly. You pick it up. It feels cold in your hands. You know what must be done. You steady your breathing. You focus on the moment. You feel the blade touch your skin. You pause for a second, then you push forward. The pain comes fast, but it is not what you expected. It is heavy. It spreads through your body. Your vision begins to narrow. The room starts to fade. The white silk blurs. The sound around you becomes distant. Your kaishakunin stands behind you, a trusted companion. Someone chosen to give you a swift end. He holds his katana ready. He is waiting for the moment. You continue. You commit to the act. You lean forward. There is a sudden stillness. You catch a brief flash of movement from behind you. Everything becomes quiet. The last thing you see is the white silk beneath you. You are a samurai. You lived for your lord. You followed the code. In the end, you leave behind only your name and a simple poem. It was never about glory. It was about duty, a role carried out until the very end. And when it is over, the world continues as if nothing ever happened.